Thank you. And again, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you for this
Member Binienda.
report. I have here with me the Worcester Tiered Focus Monitoring Report. It was done on March 14th to the 18th in 2022. We received the final report on May 31st, 2022. It involved from DESE coming into the Worcester Public
This
Schools
is not an accent.
an assessment of our Ls.
There's just not a known way of speaking.
Being reviewed and lots of interviews, including principals. It include the following areas: annual English language proficiency assessment, the state accountability assessment, the initial identification of Ls and FELs, the L program and services, program exit and readiness, parent involvement, declining.
It's
entry
so
to
obvious that
program,
Maureen's trying to come correct
parental
on this, but
notification, follow-up
we'll see
support
if she
for
has a point
Ls,
to be made.
licensure requirements, professional development requirements, and records of Ls in 13 units. It was a very extensive review of our L program. Again, that was only in 22. Out of all of the 13 elements, the L program received only 3 that were not being implemented. And what does implemented mean by the state? The requirement is substantially met in all important aspects. The 3 areas that we did not meet it was the L program and services, the licensure, and the records of Ls. That was partially implemented, which means the requirement in one or several important aspects is not entirely met. So now in reading this report, it brings up several questions for me. The first one is the company is not really cited on any citations with some of the results that were there. On the actual report, I expected it to be a little more extensive coming from EAR. I've worked with them before and have really liked their work. My question was, what was the method of the audit? Was it just a collection of documents? Does not seem to include information about interviews. What was the criteria of measurement for the report? And then I was very concerned that, dual language is very important to us in the Worcester Public Schools, as well as the TV programs. Nothing in the recommendation of the report addresses those. So my question is, could we get a
Kathy
copy
looking just as lost as
of the
Dr.
full
Mario.
report so we can read it? What work will be done for the intersection of this very important report that was done by DESE? And the last question is, looking at the report,
Those were questions? That was like one weird run-on
is
sentence.
how are we going to move instruction? And what will impact direct instruction? Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Superintendent?
Yes, through the chair. Thank you for that overview of the compliance report that came out of DESE. So when we talk about instructional programming, there's really 2 parts to it, right? There's compliance and then there's the commitment and the instructional pedagogy. The work that we had AIR do for us was around the instructional pedagogy. We know that the state comes in and does a compliance. That's, with all due respect, not really going to move the academic achievement of our children. That's just going to make sure that we're doing what the state says that we must do. And
God, she just
Worcester's
ruined
been under
Maureen's
the Department
life.
of Justice actually since I think 2008 for our multilingual youth. We're just about to finally exit that. And again, that is a very low level compliance. And so we're happy that we're going to be exiting that. We appreciate DESE coming in and taking a look at our compliance, and we're happy that we meet most of that. This is about the educational outcome for our multilingual youth. And our community is asking and has been asking for many years for us to make a difference for our children. And that's what we're working on. We're happy to provide the report for you and for any of the school committee members. It's pretty lengthy. What AIR did share with us is that
That's
there was
exactly it.
a
Just taking the gotcha
multitude
and being
of
like,
documents
no,
for
you're
them to
stupid,
review.
actually.
It took them a really long time.
I'm going to tell you you're stupid without
Nope.
actually telling you you're stupid.
And that's
Yeah.
part of why they said
This
there's
thing is
a
going
lot
to
of
just keep coming in
activity,
handy.
but we really need to get more intentional about how and what we do. So again, we're happy to share that with you. And I just want to make a distinction because there's 2 different parts in when we have programming. We have compliance and we have educational outcomes and achievement. And this particular one, we were very focused on our educational outcome because we're trying to figure out why aren't our children achieving when we know that they can, and we know that our educators
She
are working
is
really hard.
Too
So we'll
good.
get
She's too
that
good for
report to
Worcester.
you. We'll put that in a what's happening for you to review in the next 2 weeks.
Thank you. Member McCullough, followed by Member Mailman.
Thank you, and thank you for the presentation. I really do appreciate that you included the artwork of our students. I thought that was